Okay. Hi, everybody. Oh my God. Okay. All right. So we are live on, I believe, YouTube and Facebook. Yay. And I was trying to go live directly to Patreon, but that did not quite work out very well. So we're doing the best I can. Welcome to Full Moon Energy. Hi everybody. Welcome in. I am super excited for all of us to be here together today. I am going to be talking today. So our theme this week on Patreon is, and this is such an important topic. Okay. The theme is the sacred art of being human. So, and why are we talking about this, you might ask? I'm talking about this because it's one of those things where, I know I repeat this phrase a lot, but we are spiritual beings having a human experience. Okay. So, spiritually, we have been able to be in these bodies, and we've been able to have the emotions that we have. It's really beautiful. But here's a couple of thoughts, and this is what I'm excited to talk about today. What if your humanity isn't actually getting in the way of your spirituality? But what if your humanity actually is your spirituality? Just a thought, it's a thought that I keep thinking for myself, like for my own way of being, that sort of thing. I don't know. Have you ever wondered if you are spiritually enough? And it's interesting because as I think that through, I kind of feel like that I've been going through something very similar to this for a while. Like, I love talking about all the things that I talk about in terms of spirituality and the whole thing, But I always wonder, am I doing enough for my own spirituality? Isn't that crazy? What a thought. Like, it's just an interesting thought. Like, am I doing enough for my own spirituality? Do I meditate enough? Do I read enough? Do I really allow myself, do I take enough courses to learn more? It's a really interesting concept. It's a really interesting subject, So this week, what I want to do is kind of set all of that aside, all of that, those ways of thinking, those ways of being, those weird ways of just thinking, I want to set all that aside. What if I'm not good enough? What if that, So basically, I want to talk about what if our humanity isn't actually, and I know I said this already, what if our humanity isn't actually getting in the way of our spirituality, but actually is our spirituality, right? So here are some questions that you can ask yourself, questions that I want to ask myself. Okay. And that's what's kind of fun about this whole conversation. Why do we think that we have to be more spiritual? Why? Why do we think that what is going on? What is going on that we need to feel like that we're not spiritual enough, or that we're not doing enough spiritually? Why? Because, is there a reason? Like, okay, so I'll just I'll just bring this up. I'll just say it this way. I feel like that I try to meditate at least a little bit every day. Do I do that enough? I feel like I want to do more. I want to do more and more and more and more. Interesting thought, right? So then that leads me to what does being spiritual really look like? What does being fully human look like? What an interesting way of thinking, like sometimes I feel like that I am not sort of playing full out as a human. Does that make sense? Like I don't feel like that I'm necessarily being the full on human that I feel like I want to be. I don't sing enough. I don't go out and play enough. I don't go to karaoke. I don't, why am I not doing these things? These things of being fully human, So here's the question then. Okay. So I feel like that. I feel like that I should be taking more spiritual classes and I should be learning more. I should be doing all this stuff, right? But then the reality goes to, what about me being fully spiritual? Yeah. So there's a whole bunch of ways of thinking about this. Yeah. And I got to be honest, I'm a little distracted because I'm having all kinds of technological issues. So yeah, there's that. I'm going to stop this stream and then I'm going to restart the stream and we'll see how that goes. So I'll see you on the flip side.